Terry Sawchuk, the face of a hockey goalie before masks became standard game equipment, 1966. Recreated here by a professional makeup artist and a doctor are some of the more than 400 stitches he had earned during 16 years in the league. A custom-built wrought iron Fool Dust You wedding vehicle by Rafael Esparza Prieto, 1968. Henry Ford's introduction of the world's first moving assembly line for mass production of automobiles. Mayor of Minneapolis. Hubert Humphrey is picked up by supporters during the 1948 Democratic National Convention. General later President Ulysses Grant at Cold Harbor, Virginia, June 1864. Actress Sharon Tate resting during the filming of her film Don't Make Waves, August of 1967. Crowd on Disneyland's opening day, 1955. Heinz Joachim Nickel is overcome with emotion as arriving in West Germany with his son, November 11, 1989. Engineer and businessman João Gurgel shows the first Brazilian electric car, the Itaipu E150, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, 1974. A 1925 photograph that might show the last wild Barbary lion before its extinction. It was taken by the French photographer Marcelin Flandrin while he was aboard a flight on the Casablanca-Dakar air route. These children had to cross the river by pulley to go to school in Modena, Italy, 1959. Sophia Loren on the set of Boccaccio 70, 1962. Anna Nicole Smith, late 1990s, at trial over her rights to her husband's estate. John Kennedy juggling Nuremberg, 1937. After being evacuated from Dunkirk, British troops aboard a destroyer arrive at Dover, May 1940. Arsenal on Wheels. St. Louis, Missouri beefed up their police department vehicles with gun turrets on top to fight the surge of crime and violence from the gangsters in the 1920s. A member of the Royal Air Force is interred with full military honours by German forces. Channel Islands, 1943. The O'Neill sisters with their mother Julia. She made Easter dresses for all 10 of her daughters, and in this photo she's pinning the hem in the dresses, 1952. Shy George Harrison and His Suffering Fans, Britain, 1960s. Mickey Hargitay and Jane Mansfield photographed by Edward Quinn at the Cannes Film Festival, 1958. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, there were sailors trapped on the USS West Virginia and the USS Oklahoma. A Sahrawi woman with her child and rifle during the Western Sahara War, December 1976. Parade in celebration of Amelia Earhart being the first woman to fly the Atlantic. Wilma Stoltz was the pilot of the Fokker Trimotor Friendship. Louis Gordon was the flight mechanic and co-pilot. Amelia Earhart was a passenger. The construction of a high-voltage power line at the Nora Power Station in Norway in 1928. Dwight D. Eisenhower during his 1952 presidential campaign. Screaming Beatles fans watched the band perform live in 1964. In 1974, 15-year-old The Exorcist star Linda Blair met and started dating singer Rick Springfield, who was 25 years old at the time. Members of the 1929 University of Wisconsin hockey team at practice. A woman sunbathes on a rooftop in East Berlin in the 1970s. Ivan Podubny. Pro-Chiefs Treaty of 1868, Fort Laramie, Wyoming. Margot Betty Frank, the older sister of Anne Frank. Mr. Rogers surprises Eddie Murphy on the set of Saturday Night Live in 1982. Murphy did a popular parody of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on SNL called Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. Rita Hayworth, then known as Margarita Cancino, aged 12, circa 1930. An Ethiopian Man with a Lion, 1920s. Lenin's Mausoleum in the Snow, 1930s. Elvis Presley's favourite pet was the chimpanzee Scatty. (1969) Concorde, the world's first supersonic airliner, made its maiden flight. The Anglo-French plane took off from Toulouse with André Turcat at the controls. Arthur Steele's photograph titled Chauffeur's Feast, taken at Twickenham Rugby Stadium, London in 1976. Goofy photo of some people in the 1970s posing with the world's worst golfer trophy they no doubt won. Amelia Earhart disappeared in 1937, and we're still not sure what happened. This is what the front page of the Daily News in New York City looked like. People crowding the streets of Lower Manhattan while watching the Twin Towers burn September 11, 2001. Jews being expelled from the Old Quarter of Jerusalem, 1948. Machinery buried by dust in South Dakota, 1936. The Dust Bowl disaster for the 1930s. When the trend was bangs that could touch the sky, 1980s. Acrobat Max Heyman with his wife Katie Brumbach Sandwiener in their retirement, running a grill and bar place in the 1950s. She acted as bouncer also. An Australian soldier shooting a submachine gun at portraits of Kim Il-sung and Stalin in 1950. Ozzy Osbourne in 1986. Tearful actress Marilyn Monroe in passenger seat of car beside her lawyer after announcing her divorce from Joe DiMaggio, 1954. Meeting of Maria Callas and Marilyn Monroe, the Queen of Sopranos and the Queen of Hollywood, 1962. Hyde Park, London, England, 1932. A German soldier interrogates a Pole who has emerged from hiding, 1939. A detachment of Tuareg, 1911. Firemen put out blaze at a building on 101st Street at 1st Avenue, burned in 1975 while children play basketball, Harlem, New York City. This is what an electric washing machine looked like in 1929. The 1962 Ford Concept Mustang. A number of young Palestinian refugees fleeing the horrors of war arrive in Beirut and are quarantined and subjected to various health treatments to prevent the spread of vermin in Beirut, Lebanon, 1948. German prisoners of war after the Battle of Stalingrad, 1943. An acrobat balancing balls circa 1920. Kazimir Malevich with his works at the Museum of Artistic Culture, Petrograd, 1924. The Small Electronic Calculating Machine, MESM, was the first computer in the USSR and Europe, 1951. Mikhail Gorbachev and Fidel Castro on a motorcade during a parade in Havana, Cuba, 1989. Harry Belafonte riding a bicycle with his daughter Shari in 1957. Arab Christian Bedouin woman from the settled town of Kerak, 1898. Security forces moving through Mexico City in the days after the earthquake, 1985. The wedding of Eunice Kennedy and Sergeant Shriver. An elephant from the Amar Brothers Circus ploughs in occupied France, 1941. A young black man accused of a crime against a white woman is escorted to court by 400 Missouri National Guard troops, Arkansas, 1941. Johnny Depp. Red Canoe, 1957. Aerial view of Chicago from 1922. Future actress Alicia Witt, her brother and mother Diana, who was in the Guinness Book of Records from 1988 to 1996 for the longest hair in the world, 2 meters 59 centimeters, 1989. This is what the McDonald's sign looked like before it added its iconic double golden arches to it in 1968. Audrey Hepburn jumping with her dog in Richmond Park, 1950. Women in Santa Monica, California doing gymnastics. The original Muscle Beach, 1960s. A lone woman picketing against immigration raids in 1937, Los Angeles, United States. Jamie Lee Curtis wearing Air Jordan 3s, 1989. English bombing of Belgrade in 1944. The Azorian hood, or capote e capello, was a traditional garment commonly worn in the Azores, particularly on the island of Fayal until the 1930s. Jessica Alba at prom. Two Soviet soldiers posing together for a picture, 1970. A stuntman at heights, blindfolded. Two people carry baskets on the beach. This just might be the first mirror selfie ever taken, and you can see the three of them are absolutely thrilled about it. United States Army Air Force's Curtiss P-40, Warhawk serial number 39-280, Army Air Force Training Command, Fosterfield, Texas, circa 1942. Ozzy Osbourne showing how much sugar he likes in his coffee, 1984. Detroit riots, 1967. The UAZ 3907 Jaguar multi-purpose all-wheel drive amphibious vehicle, undergoing testing in the 1980s. The phototelegraph is the ancestor of the fax from the distant year of 1902. Empire State Building before the city grew skyscrapers, 1930s. Zeppelin airship ZR-3, the USS Los Angeles in the heart of Berlin. Below is the Brandenburg Gate. On the right are the Reichstag building and the Victory Column. September 1924. Keith Flint of the Prodigy in front of the Kremlin, surrounded by fans, 1995. A woman with a mohawk at Astor Place East Village, New York City in 1986. The Soviet glider Vega was built in 1963 for the participation of glider pilots in soaring flights and record setting. Bonnie and Clyde, 1933. Bjork at age 11, circa 1977. At the time unknown, Marilyn Monroe posing with other 7 more models and bit part actress, 9th of October 1949. A French aviator demonstrates aerial bombs. Wonder Kitchen of the Future as imagined in 1957. Sylvester Stallone at Lincoln High School, United States, 1962. German heavy tanker 7V World War I. Abe Lincoln refusing to straighten his hair, 1857. Piano bar on an American Airlines Boeing 747, 1971. United States pop singer Peggy March is critically eyed by a grumpy West Berlin granny, 1971. Selection was one of the most terrifying features of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Upon arrival, prisoners were forced into lines where SS officers made rapid decisions about who would live temporarily and who would die immediately. Dancing in the Pub, Southend, 1951. The moment President Kennedy signed the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty in the Peace Hall on October 7, 1963. A Car on a Racetrack, 1911. United States soldier with a load of precious cargo, Vietnam, late 1960s to early 1970s. Procession through the town of Cortina en route to the opening ceremony for the 1956 Games. A Little Boy All Dressed Up, New York City, United States, 1949. Aftermath of the Cinema Rex terrorist attack. The attack was initially blamed on SAVAK, however later was found to have been performed by revolutionary Islamist militants as a false flag operation to fuel dissent against Pahlavi. Iran, August 1978. A smiling Queen Victoria with her daughter Princess Beatrice, her granddaughter Princess Victoria of Hesse and by the Rhine, and her great-granddaughter Princess Alice of Battenberg, Prince Philip's mother, 1886. A creepy photo of a smiling nun. Before she became Barack Obama's mother at the age of 18, Ann Dunham was a high school student described by her friends as intellectually way more mature than we were, and a little bit ahead of her time, in an off-center way. An officer accosts an unconscious woman as mounted police officers attack civil rights marchers in Selma, Alabama, who were attempting to begin a 50-mile march to Montgomery to protest race discrimination in voter registration. Drinking game? A stunning view of the German battleship Tirpitz in 1941. Champagne Picnic in Central Park, New York, 1956. Muhammad Ali and Etta James, 1974. 1922, 16-year-old Canadian Aloha Vandervelde set off on a round-the-world trip, pictured here as Aloha in Japan. Schoolchildren in the liberated Russian city of Jatsk, showing Red Army soldiers' ersatz boots made of braided straw, 1943. Old Buffalo Hunter, 1940.